about trading skyscrapers for smoky skies? Maybe you're tired of sirens in subways and wondering if mountain air and a much lower cost of living could be for you. Today, we're comparing life in New York City to life in East Tennessee with real numbers, lifestyle differences, and some fun surprises. So take a deep breath. Let's get started. Hey friends, if you've ever wondered what it's really like to live in East Tennessee compared to the Big Apple, you're in the right place. I'll cover lifestyle, housing, taxes, childcare, and more with real data from Sevierville and Gatlinburg up against Manhattan and Brooklyn. What's the real difference between New York City and East Tennessee? New York City never sleeps. Honking horns, packed trains, and 24/7 everything. East Tennessee, think mountain mornings with coffee on the porch, maybe a bear sighting, and friendly waves from neighbors who actually stop to chat. New York City thrives on hustle. East Tennessee thrives on breathing room. And if you're coming from city chaos, the first thing you'll notice here is the silence, but in a good way. All right, let's talk money, because no matter how you slice it, the financial gap between New York and East Tennessee is massive. Overall, one of the main differences is living in New York City is about 84% more expensive than living in Sevierville, Tennessee. 84%, that's a lot. Now, property taxes in Sevier County, which is Gatlinburg and Sevierville, are based on the appraised value of your property. I'm not going to go through all the numbers and the rates, but I'm just going to give you an example. A $500,000 home is taxed on $125,000 assessed value, roughly $2,000 to $2,400 a year in property tax. Compare that to New York City. Property tax rates are complex, but a $500,000 condo in Manhattan can cost between $7,000 and $17,500 a year in taxes. All right, let's talk income taxes. Tennessee, we have no state income tax. New York State plus New York City. I'll give you an example. If you earn $100,000, that's $14,000 in taxes in New York City versus $0 in Tennessee. Let's talk about child care. In Sevier County, infant care averages about $261 a week, which is $13.60 a year. In New York City, the same care runs about $16,900 to $26,000 a year. That's $3,000 to $12,000 per child per year. Woo! $13,600 versus $20,000 to $26,000, big difference. Groceries 18% lower, utilities 30% lower, rent 67% lower. Manhattan rent is $4,000 a month versus Sevierville, $1,300 to $1,700 a month. We can talk about some of the differences in housing and space. In New York City, 600 square feet, maybe one window. East Tennessee, you've got porches, parking, and maybe an acre with a creek. You trade subways for sunsets. A $500,000 budget in New York City might buy a one-bedroom condo. In Sevierville, that same budget can buy a 4-bedroom home with land or a rental cabin. New York's public transit is legendary and expensive. A monthly Metro card is approximately $132. Add parking and tolls, you're easily spending hundreds. In East Tennessee, you'll need a car, but gas is cheaper, insurance is lower, and traffic means maybe 2 red lights and possibly a tractor. New York City has endless dining and culture, Broadway, museums, Michelin stars. East Tennessee has live bluegrass, mountain festivals, and diners, and people that know your name. Now, I'll tell you, I used to live in Las Vegas, and I love that I could go to different restaurants, entertainment, but living here in East Tennessee, I've got Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Knoxville, and Nashville. I've got all these places where there's plenty of entertainment. Dinner for 2 in New York could range anywhere from $200 to $400. In Sevierville, $45 to $90, and I'm gonna make a joke. You could have sweet tea with free refills. Tennessee has all 4 seasons, but winters are mild and summers are long. New York City, snow, slush, and wind tunnels. In East Tennessee, you can boat on Douglas Lake in May and hike the Smokies in October without freezing. So what's the verdict? If you crave convenience and buzz, New York City still shines. But if you're ready for affordability, space, fresh air, East Tennessee wins big. So here's a quick recap. The cost of living here is 84% lower. We have zero income tax. Property taxes are a lot lower. Childcare, $13,600 versus $20,000 to $26,000. Rent is 60 to 70% less. So where would you rather live? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the subscribe button and tell me in the comments what's the biggest shocker, taxes, space, or childcare? Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90, I'd love to help. Just shoot me a text, call me, send me an email, or set up a Zoom call. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and I look forward to meeting you.